Welcome back, readers. Yeah, readers. You're readers because now we're in our reading unit where we'll investigate characterization. I'm excited for it. Let's check it out. Okay, readers. Today we are going to be focused on perspective. The perspective of our main character in our story. And we're going to have questions that help us to understand their perspective so we can see how the writer, the author, in our case today, Matt De La Pena, sets that up. So, going to be a lot of listening to me read and then talking to your partners. This is going to be a longer than normal video, but that just means that really there's more getting to listen to this super awesome story. So, I don't feel bad about it. Okay, let's get into the story. In today's work, we are going to be considering perspective from characters. And this one perspective that we're going to look at first, I want you thinking of a couple questions as you listen to me read. And you're going to be talking about those with your partner when I finish. So the first question is up on your screen right now, and it's, what do they need or desire? Okay, this is for the main character, and you should be asking, what do they need or desire? It's like their goal. Should sound familiar to you from writing. And the other question to consider is, what barrier or conflicts get in their way? Again, this is like a problem in a story, the problem for your main character. So, what barrier or conflicts get in that way? Okay, I'm reading from the book Flying Lessons and Other Stories, and it's a collection of short stories by many authors, and I'll just read the name of the author when I'm reading that short story. This first story that we'll get to read part of today is how to transform an everyday, ordinary hoop court into a place of higher learning, and you at the podium. And it's by Matt De La Pena. It's finally summer. Go ahead, take a deep breath. You're free. All year long, your mom has been on you like glue about algebra worksheets and science fair projects and the knee-high stack of books Mrs. Baker assigned for English class. I would never do that. And you did what you had to do. 2 A's and 4 B's. Truth is, you're actually pretty smart. School comes easy. You told Baker in that end of the year 5-page paper what was up with Esperanza's dreams and the symbolism of the Mango Street house. And you pulled down a 96%. Second highest grade in the class. But even as you typed out that essay, you had an indoor, outdoor in your lap. Between sentences, you daydreamed finger rolls over outstretched hands. See, here's what all the hardcore homework pushers don't get. For people like you, ball is more than just ball. It's a way out. A path to those tree-lined lives they always show you on the TV. You've crunched the numbers and read the tea leaves. Fact is, you'll never hit the books as hard as boy genius Jeremiah Villa. Sylvia Diaz either. Even your boy Francisco from down the hall. There are folks in this world who live to mark up a fat world history textbook with an arsenal of colored highlighters. Not me. You're not one of them. You spend too much time on back alley ball handling drills to compete. Nah, the game of basketball is your best chance. Wow, okay. So I think that's super interesting how our main character, the narrator, is explaining and letting us hear his voice, which is showing us his perspective. And right now, with your partner, you need to talk to each other about what your ideas were. as far as what did you learn his wants and desires are, and what barriers might be getting in the way of that. If you want to, take about 20 seconds first to think on your own if you didn't jot anything down as you were listening. I suggest you jot down next time as I talk. If you want to, since we're on video, you could go back and listen again to what I just read to you. I'm going to give you a few minutes in class to talk to your partner and be prepared to share out when we come back. Go ahead and pause the video now. So obviously, he wants a way out. And he has an idea for what his way out is, and it's basketball. So now we are going to push that further. We have another question that we're going to consider. And it has to do with our character's past experiences. And you should see now on the screen in front of you a new question that I want you to consider. And it's, what experiences have shaped their perspective? So be considering these questions now as I read the next section from our book. The next section is called The Fate of Your Hoop Development. For the past 3 years, you've spent every free minute balling at an outdoor court down the street from your building. After school, after games, weekends, you name it. Most nights you're still out there putting up shots, alone, when the sun falls behind the ocean and the automatic park lights come flickering on, spilling that strange yellow half-light across the cracked concrete. Ball is like anything else. Put in enough hours, your game's gonna blast off. Your jumper's now pure out to 25 feet, give or take. You've developed a little floater in the lane that leaves slow-footed big men flailing. But it's your handle that sets you apart. Your quicks, the way you get into the paint at will and finish with either hand. This past season, you scored more points than any other 8th grader in the county. You were second in assists. So what? It ain't good enough, and you know it. Now, not if you want to be even more dominant next year in high school. That's why your ears perk up when you overhear a couple of newcomers talking about Muni Gym in Balboa Park. When you overhear the dude with love handles sitting on the stairs say to the boy, "It's the best run in the entire city. B, I put that on everything." "You ranked them out yet?" the other guy asks. "Nah, I used to ball there all the time before I tweaked my back. If you can hang with them big boys at Mooney, shoot, you can hang with just about anybody." Shelf the extra jumpers that night. Proceed instead to the local library and look up Muni Gym online. Type the address into Google Earth and you'll discover it's right next to the Air and Space Museum. Your moms took you and your sis to back in the day, and the Air and Space Museum, if your calculations are correct, isn't but 5 miles from your pop's job at the factory. Wander into your cramped living room after dinner that night, work up the guts to describe to your old man the importance of competing against the best. You've outgrown your local run. It's time to put a foot in the deep end. So what if he doesn't even know the rules of the game? If all he does is sit there silently inside the TV, working a toothpick in his teeth? So, what do you think, Pops? About what? Would it be cool if we went with you to work every morning so I could play some ball down there? He'll look at you suspiciously, then turn back to his cop show and his toothpick. You'll take this as a no, and assume the fate of the most important summer of your hoop development now rests in the hands of the county bus system. But you'll be wrong. A few minutes later, he'll mumble, "Better have your skinny butt in the car by 5, I'll tell you that. or else I'm leaving without you. He won't even look up when he tells you this. Doesn't matter. Your heart will race with excitement. You'll tear into the room you share with your sis and lay your hoop gear out on the chair by your bed like some kind of giddy schoolgirl, which is pretty much how you'll feel. So now you're going to talk to your partner. You're going to be in that breakout room, and you're going to share with each other what characters' past experiences that we might have just heard about have shaped him. Why does he want to get out of the neighborhood? Why? I mean, what's happened? What happens that makes him want to escape this place so bad? We know, since we're talking about perspective, a character's experiences shape their perspective. So, talk to your partner and jot down on your paper what you think those past experiences were we just heard about. Pause the video. You're going to have a couple minutes to talk to your partner about this. We're now on our final section from Matt De La Pena's story. And this section is called There's Only Today. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I know I am. Now, as I'm reading, be paying attention to how he's layering these details and keep asking yourself the 3 questions that we already have. The first one is, what are our main character's desires? The second one is, what is getting in the way of what he wants? That's the gist of it, but I want to make sure I say it exactly. What barriers or conflicts get in their way? And then finally, what experiences shape the perspective they have that kind of make them feel like they want this thing and feel like these things are getting in their way? There's only today. Know that when your alarm starts blaring at 4:30 the next morning, you're going to have no idea where you are or what's happening. It'll still be dark outside. Your sis will be snoring. When reality finally sets in, the lazy part of your brain will try and sweet talk you back to sleep. Maybe we could, skip the Mooney trip today. Go ball at the park instead. There's always tomorrow. Reach into your own skull and smack this part of your brain upside the head. If you let it, this part of your brain will hold you back from every dream you will ever have. Trust me. Crawl out of bed, reminding yourself that your old man gets up like this every single day for work, rain or shine, in sickness and in health. Your uncles too, respect them for this. Strive to be like them. During the entire 30-minute drive south, your old man will say 2 sentences to you, max. Don't take it personally. Answer his question about the gym location and how you heard about it. Buckle your seatbelt when he gives you one of his patented dirty looks. Before you even hit the freeway on ramp, you'll be done talking, but that's okay. Shift your focus to other details of the drive. The radio news show he turns on. The smell of his steaming hot black coffee. The scattered cars along the dark freeway and the subtle tick of his turn signal whenever he changes lanes. By the end of summer, these seemingly insignificant details will be ingrained in your brain. When he parks along the street near his factory, it'll still be a full 3 hours before Muni Gym opens. Better have your skinny butt back here by 3:45, he'll say, snatching his lunch pail out of the back seat. It's a long walk home, I'll tell you that. After he disappears around the bend, turn your attention to the ancient Volkswagen Bug. You'll wonder, how the heck are you supposed to sleep inside such a tiny car? But after a little trial and error, you'll find a way. It will involve folding your 6'1" frame into a kind of human pretzel. Half of you will be in the back seat, while the other half is curled up in the front seat. Your bag strategically lodged into the center console to keep the handbrake from digging into your ribs. By day 3, this next level yoga position will feel perfectly natural. But let's get something straight from the jump. Muni Gym Summer isn't going to be some kind of continuous loop of one shining moment. There will be low points too, on and off the court. Trust me. A few weeks in, a meaty-faced cop will knock on the windshield with the butt of his nightstick. He'll look at you through aviator sunglasses, his right hand resting on a holstered gun. Try not to panic. His suspicions will be based on 2 simple facts. This is the first time during his rounds he's ever stumbled across a kid sleeping at a 90-degree angle inside a VW Bug. 2, your skin is brown. 2A, his skin will be brown too, maybe even browner. But don't spend too much time worrying yourself about this. There's a complex psychology behind this phenomenon, one you're not ready to wrap your head around. At the end of your respectful explanation, the cop will slowly remove his hand from his handgun. He'll grab hold of your left elbow instead and steer you toward the front office of the factory. Your pop will be summoned, embarrassingly, over the loudspeaker. 2 minutes later, he'll emerge from the back, looking wildly stressed. This is not because you've done anything wrong. It's because he has his own history with cops. Stuff that happened long before you were born. Stuff nobody ever talks about. After the cop explains the situation, your pop will put on an uncomfortable smile and vouch for you. He'll say, "You're a good kid," and that you're just down here to play some ball at a gym in Balboa Park. He'll shake hands with the cop enthusiastically, thanking him for his service and apologizing for any trouble you may have caused. As soon as the cop leaves, though, your pops will transform back into himself. "Don't worry about that power happy pendejo," he'll say, rubbing your shoulder. "You didn't do nothing wrong." "I was just sleeping." "Mexicans are allowed to sleep too." He'll look you straight in the eyes, nodding. And in this moment, you'll feel a little closer to your old man than ever before. Fortunately, that's the only morning you'll be woken up by a nightstick. Every other morning, it'll be the alarm on your phone, and you'll be free to climb out of the Bug at your leisure. Stretch your stiff arms and legs, breathe in the warm Hillcrest air, and remove your rock from your bag. It's time to get a move on. It won't take but 3 days to know all the shortcuts to Muni. Dribble through the middle school playground where summer camp kids play double dutch and hopscotch and dodgeball. Dribble in and out of sleeping cars in the massive San Diego Zoo parking lot. Dribble through crowds of camera-toting tourists shuffling toward the front gates of the zoo. Dribble past the various hot dog stands, the ice cream truck with the 2 flat tires, the leather-faced man selling raspas who looks like your late abuelito. By the end of the summer, these vendors will all recognize you and wave. It will take a little more than an hour for you to arrive at the large, dilapidated building with 2 locked green doors. Butterflies will dance inside your chest. That first time and every time following. Even years from now. And that's how it should be. Because you can sense it. Here is where you will learn the world. Okay. So that's the end of our reading for today. And with your partners, this is your last opportunity to talk to each other. To talk to each other about how we've noticed now different parts that have, in some cases, that are more important than others, that help us to understand the perspective of our main character. So, right now, take another couple minutes. I'll let you know when you're done to talk to your partner about these 3 questions that we've been trying to answer this whole time to help us better understand the perspective of our main character. Okay. We are at the end. It's now your turn. You are going to read for the rest of our time until I stop you. And your job is to answer these same questions about the story that you're reading. It's possible that as you read, you may find you don't get to figure out all of these questions. But you might be able to make some guesses based upon what you read. So do your best. Do your best to consider, based upon what I know already about my character, what do they desire? What do they want? Then ask yourself, well, I know what they want, but what barriers are getting in the way of what they want? Otherwise, they'd have it. And finally, are we hearing about some experiences in their life, such as our main character in Matt De La Pena's story, how he has to share a room with his sister even though he's like in 8th or 9th grade? Are we seeing a simple little thing like that we go, that definitely would make me want to get out of the house, to think that basketball is what I need to do to make it? So study your book as you're reading. Jot down the answers to those questions for your story as well. And then we'll see you next time. Happy reading.